I'm Reverend Kate, and I'm really happy to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Carlsbad, where we understand that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. And so I'd like to invite you to just relax for a moment during our opening spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you to just take a breath, and if you feel like closing your eyes, that's fine. I do that. It makes it easier to set aside any feeling of distraction, nervousness, any thoughts about what might have transpired on the way here this morning, what you have to do later on this afternoon. So let's just be here now in this moment and recognize the truth that we live in a spiritual universe, that there is only one thing, spirit, and that everything that exists in both the tangible and intangible, in both the physical and non-physical world, is made of the very substance of spirit, because that is all there is, and spirit creates by becoming. And recognizing this and understanding that each one of us is then a beautiful part, a beautiful individualization of spirit, then I feel perfectly at ease making this claim on behalf of each and every one here today, as I know and declare good. I know there is good for us. I know that we ought to have it. I know that each one here now is perfect, whole, and complete in spirit. And that this wholeness now unfolds in wonderful ways in our individual lives. And I know that today we're brought here together to enjoy, to learn, and to be inspired by the truth that there is a power for good. I give thanks, this is so, I give thanks for everyone involved in today's service in any way, and I invite you to express your gratitude and your acceptance of this good by saying together with me, and so it is. Thank you. Now I'd like to turn it over to our musician, Lucille.
I usually don't say anything, but I have to say this theme today of taking action, this song fits right in with that. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision, and no one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, yes it is, my decision right here and decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Thank you, Lucille. I'm so happy that you retired and we get to have you more often this year. Yay. Although I'm sure your all school children will miss you.
Yeah, I miss them too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So now, the next thing we'd like to do is Darla here? Not yet. Well, let's see. Who would like to be our candlelighter today? Johnny, why don't you do it? Oh, thank you. So Johnny is going to help us today light our candles. We light these candles just to remind ourselves of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So first, we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life now. So please affirm with me, I am life. We light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm with me, I am love. We light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We are always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. So please affirm with me, I am light. We light a candle for beauty. We are made in the likeness and image of God. We are each whole, complete, and beautiful, just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection now. So please affirm with me, I am beauty. We light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. We each bring joy to the world. Please affirm with me, I am joy. And Nuku, just come right up with these flowers. We'll take care of it. Okay, Jim's going to bring the flowers up because we're celebrating beauty and joy, and flowers are a beautiful representation of that.
Turn it around, Jen. Turn it around.
Is that okay?
Turn it around. Other way. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Jim's not quite the
Keep going,
decorator.
okay.
That still works.
How many do we have left? Oh, okay. We light the candle for peace. Today and every day we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world, so please affirm with me, I am peace. And finally, I want to invite everyone to just take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within, as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. So thank you, Johnny. So I just have a few announcements to share today. You will find some other announcements in your program on the left-hand side. We do have some new people today, and I really want to welcome everyone, whether you've come here 100 times or if this is your first time. Because we have quite a few new people, I would like to remind our old people To please
I reject that, I'm not old.
I accept it.
Okay, I don't know what to say. Don't forget to ask people before you give them a hug, okay? Or a handshake, all right? Because, you know, we want to be respectful of everyone and welcoming to everyone. So I want to invite, in that light, I want to invite everyone here to please make yourself at home. Stay for fellowship after the service, and also if you could add your name and your email to our guest book in the lobby, we can sign you up for our weekly email. Please use block printing when you put in your email, because it's really hard for me to tell the difference between a 1 and an L, or an A and a O, or a 0. So, anyway, if you signed up before and you're not getting it, you can always go to our website and click on newsletter and type it in yourself. That works too. So I want to let everyone know that today and every Sunday we offer a spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer as our gift to you. So if you have a prayer request for any healing of conditions, you can either speak to a minister or a practitioner directly after the service. So today, we have Reverend Maurene, myself, practitioner Robert, practitioner, old practitioner Larry, young practitioner Larry. Anyway, and we have Reverend Dr. Maddie Dobbs, and we're all available directly after the service for you. Or if you prefer, in the lobby, in the corner, there's a little box that says treatment requests. You can write down on a slip of paper that we have there what your desire is, and our prayer team will do treatment for you, prayer treatment for you during the week. And that works too. Definitely does. The other thing I want to share is that today, right after fellowship, we are holding class 4 of Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. We're going to meet in the back of this room. We'll start around 11:20 or so. If you're not joining us for class, though, go ahead and enjoy the fellowship and get coffee and hang out in the lobby. That's fine. There's no rush. This really is, in case you haven't noticed by now, a community-based spiritual center. And we will be calling more people up as part of the service, but there are also volunteers who are behind the scenes. So I want to thank Maddie and Yuka for the flower today. I want to thank Carol for being our greeter today. I want to thank Karen for bringing the treats today. And I want to thank Jim for helping with the setup and also doing our video recording today. And changing the batteries on the microphones and making sure we're loud enough also. Little details. And I also want to acknowledge Dan Sherburne for doing our bookkeeping and running the bookstore. If you have any questions, please talk to Jim. And guess what? We have a volunteer sign-up sheet in the lobby. So if you feel like signing up, it would be wonderful. Now, if you could, please look inside your programs on the right-hand side. Find the group reading, and let's read it aloud together. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am the individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. And now I'd like to invite you to stand. We're going to sing a song together. And Conrad is going to help Lucille, not show your names, help Lucille lead the song. So, do you all have your words? Does everyone have words to the song? If you don't
And
have
who
words.
needs, anybody need work? Hey, we're gonna start out with the chorus first. Okay? I have heard Conrad sing over the years, like when we do Christmas sing-along and things, and he's just got a gorgeous voice and sings with his heart. So I asked him to sing with me, and sing with your heart. Everybody, sing with our heart. So what a beautiful song this is. We're going to start with the chorus. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Okay? Sure. Here we go. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye.
It looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy and don't miss a tree. And old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful
That was really nice. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Lucille. Now I would like to invite our young practitioner, Larry, to come up and share an inspirational reading for us today.
Yeah, there we go.
See, I can dance. I can do some stuff too, you know. No, we got it. All right. A beautiful day it is. Thank you. This is from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, Chapter 8, The Power of Thought. In the infinity of mind, there is nothing but mind and what mind does. its operations. The mind is acted upon by our thought, and in the way thought becomes the law of our lives. We do not create. We use the power of the one mind, which creates for us. Always mankind uses. He never creates anything. The united intelligence of the human race could not make a single rosebud, but our thought, centered in mind, is using the creative power of the universe. Law of life is a law of thought, an activity of consciousness, and the power flows through us. The Spirit can do for us only what it can do through us. It cannot make the gift. The power behind all things is without limit, but in working for us, it must work through us. Realizing then that while the power is limitless, it must become operative through our own thought. We shall see that what we need is not some greater power, but a greater consciousness, a deeper realization of life, a more sublime concept of being, a more intimate concept of an already indwelling God, who is personal to us by virtue of being personified through us. And so it is.
So it is.
Love is something if you give it away, you give it away, give it away. Yes, love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. It's just like a magic penny, hold it tight and you won't have any. Let's spend it, you'll have so many. A roll over the floor. For love is something if you give it away, you give it away, you give it away. Yes, love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. Money's handy and we like to use it, but love is better if you don't refuse it. It's a treasure and you'll never lose it unless you lock up your door. Love is something you give it away, you give it away, you give it away. Yes, love is something if you give it away, you end up having more. I put my prayer treatment in, I toss my old beliefs out. I commit to the action that will bring it all about. I do some meditation, I turn my life around. That's what it's all about. You do the whole hokey pokey. You do the whole hokey pokey. You do God's hokey pokey and you turn your mind around. That's what it's all about. I put my whole heart in, I throw my inner critic out. I release all the stuff that I've been whining all about. I do some acts of kindness and expand my gratitude, because that's what it's all about. You do the whole hokey pokey, you do the whole hokey pokey, God's hokey pokey. You do the hokey pokey and you turn your mind around. That's what it's all about. Hokey I'd like to acknowledge the spiritual hokey pokey. The words were changed by Reverend Lisa Stewart, who's in Milwaukee, and was a former student of beloved Reverend James.
That was fun. Obviously, we like children here, so don't worry, we have really loud microphones, right? Don't worry about a little noise. Next thing, it's my pleasure to invite Reverend Maurene to come up and give us the message for the morning. So please give her a big welcome.
It's great being up here, seeing all these smiling faces. I love it. You know, we're so blessed by this perfect weather, San Diego County. It's a great day, beautiful day for us. So, for some of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Maurene Bishop. And today I'm going to talk about a not real well-known metaphysical law, but we call it the law of action or activity. And we often say, in religious science, we say treat, meaning do a prayer, and move your feet. My mother used to say, God helps them who help themselves. God can only do for us what it does through us and in us and as us. So this Sunday, it was the Sunday before last, I talked about each of us imagining that we are a superhero. We're one of those action figures for love. And we've been teaching a class on change your thinking, change your life. So action is about changing your thoughts, thinking a new way, planting a seed thought. Thought is action and allows us to access the power for good. I hear, Jim, I'm hearing feedback. You're okay?
Yeah, we don't hear anything.
Just follow me. In the past, I've talked about the law of circulation, and basically, it's pay it forward. What you put out comes back to you, and usually multiply tenfold. You know, if you give, you receive. That's the law of circulation. I also talked about the law of attraction in the past. Law of attraction is like attracts like. If you want friends, be a friend. You have to change your consciousness to attract people. It's like look in a mirror and see what you are. And you want to attract more of that, good. If you don't like what you say, change your thinking. You know, why do we want to know about spiritual law? Well, understanding spiritual law helps us consciously use gifts of spirit. And we make better informed decisions. And we use this creative mind for just demonstrating more good. We learn how to unify with spirit. You know, basically, it's all about putting yourself in the shoes of the divine, because you are divine. So, but before I get into this a little more, just a little levity. Which popular action figure has a farm? G.I. Joe. You know, talking about action, my bank called me about suspicious activity on my credit card. They didn't believe I bought a gym membership. You know, how do we describe Superman's perfect home? The World Wide Web. And lastly, one more one. What do you call an insect that can't stop moving? A jitterbug. Right now, let's talk about science for a minute. I always like to talk about science. No quantum physics today, but I won't mention string theory. You know, if you want to know life, you have to understand the science behind this physical realm. And all things in the universe are in motion. Creativity never ends. You know, the Bible said there was 7 days and then God rested. No chance. Keeps going. Creation. We're all creating all the time. And a very interesting man named Nikola Tesla, he was a Serbian-American inventor. You know, he played a key role in designing modern alternating current and also batteries, which are used in electric cars. But he said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Well, we all know atoms are made of electrons, neutrons, protons, and even at 0 degrees, they're still moving. They're still moving, little jitterbugs. But electrons are in constant motion. And you say, well, how fast? How fast do these little guys go? A scale of 100 trillionth of a second do they vibrate. 100 trillionth of a second. That's 10 to the negative 14. And you know, if you ever see a picture of an atom, it's a smudge because we can't really take a picture of it. It's always moving. And just like your purse, your shoes, something that we think is lifeless, it's moving too. It has a temperature, and the higher the temperature, the faster the electrons in your shoes are moving. Everything vibrates. Cherry sitting on vibrates. You know, Buckminster Fuller, some of you know who he was. We'll call him Bucky. But, and he created geodesic domes, but Bucky said, God is a verb. God is a verb. And we all know decades ago, Albert Einstein proved that everything is energy. And all that we know to be matter is rapidly moving particles of energy. And most simply put, it's all God. God is energy. And it's all good. And I'll think of an ice cube. It's solid. You heat it up, becomes a liquid. You heat it up further, it becomes a gas. Same molecule, different form, different form. And I think some of us are that way. We are evolving to a higher vibration. You know, it is said that in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. The Word is a vibration. And we could say that God is energy, which is expressing as infinite variations of vibrations in form. There's God in an amazing disguise. There's God in an amazing disguise. Form and formlessness, that's God. So words are vibrations, and all the senses are vibrations. There's nothing that is not vibration. And I just mentioned string theory. String theory has some opposition right now in its belief that string theory says even smaller subatomic particles are vibrating. We all vibrate. Now, in this book that we have in the bookstore, Creative Mind and Success, Ernest Holmes talks about this law of action. He says, wherever we create a mental state about anything, it takes shape. We create a mental equivalent, a form, a mold into which spirit fills. And he says, the world likes action and change. Action is life. You know, that doesn't mean, action doesn't mean we have to struggle or restrain. You know, we have to be willing to do our part by letting what he calls law work through us. God can do for us only as we allow it to do through us. We must comply with the law of activity. Now, a prayer treatment, a positive prayer, which we call treatment, is a method of prayer. And it's to clarify our thought. It's to have us hone in on what it is that we want to change in our life. It causes us to think about that. It causes us to see our unity with God. It's consciously putting the spiritual law of mind in action. So wherever we create a mental state, it takes place. Ernest says, when we give a treatment, we're not sitting around hoping that something may happen. We're absolutely, definitely, constructively seeking, stating, sensing, knowing a specific good. We're not petitioning for favors. Please, God, do this for me. No, we don't do that. We're not beseeching or pleading. We're hoping that God is in a good mood today. We're not asking. We announce. We affirm. We declare. We declare our perfect health, our perfect prosperity, our perfect creativity. Believing it's already accomplished as spoken. So the purpose of prayer really is to seek union with the indwelling presence. And from this perspective, like Larry said, realize the truth about every experience. You know, and we're not like Darth Vader. We don't will something to happen. We don't force will. We're providing an avenue through which something actually happens. A willingness, not a will. We don't have to will things to happen. We know they're happening by divine action. So Friday, my friend and I went to the mall, and we were walking around in the one here at Carlsbad, and some businesses have gone out of business. But I noticed that as we were walking around, some stores are quiet. Nothing's happening. You know, I don't feel like going into a store that has no action or activity. It's like we went by certain stores and other stores where people are moving around and people are talking. It's like, that's what we're interested in. We're attracted to activity. So we feel life, we feel motion, we feel activity, we feel confident. I don't know, most of you probably know who Ram Dass was. And in this time of social change and upheaval, he spoke about social action. He said, for social action to be done with love, spiritual work has to come first. He said, I notice how many people there are at rallies. Social action arouses righteousness, but righteous anger can close your heart. If I want to be free more than I want to be right, I have to let go of righteousness. So I'm not saying don't go to a rally. I'm just saying you have to do it with love. You have to do your spiritual work first. Go within first. I also read an article about the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. And it's close to where the march from Selma to Montgomery for voting rights began. Well, there's a park there that commemorates the march. And one of the monuments in the park is to Representative John Lewis. And as a college student, Lewis was with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee And he suggested the march as a way to press politicians in Montgomery to ensure voting rights for all. And the quote that is in the park, on the monument, it says, "When we pray, our feet move." Some of you may know or read Eckhart Tolle. I hope I pronounce his name right. He's German. And he has that book called The Power of Now, which is really good. He says, if you were stuck in the mud somewhere, you wouldn't say, okay, I resign myself to being stuck in mud. No. Resignation is not surrender. You don't need to accept an undesirable or unpleasant life situation, nor do you need to deceive yourself and say, oh, there's nothing wrong being stuck in the mud. No. You recognize fully that you want to get out of the mud. You then bring your attention down to the present moment. This means that there's no judgment in the now. Therefore, there's no resistance. So don't judge yourself. He says, no emotional negativity. You accept the beingness, the isness of the moment. And then you take action and do all that you can do to get out of the mud. So, if you're stuck right now and you feel like, I want to stay at home and do nothing, there are a couple things you can do. You can think about this. Just change something. Move the furniture around in your living room. Just do something to change the garage, change your closet, It'll start something moving inside of you, and it will never stop. So an awake person can find so many things to do that they haven't time for being in this life. And they know that eternity is necessary to carry out all the ideals that you have already evolved. So be interested in life, and life will be interested in you. I have another great book, The Power of Decision, by Raymond Charles Barker. Many of you have this book, I know. It's a great book, but he talks about indecision and procrastination. He says indecision is actually the individual's decision to fail. If you are in analysis paralysis, you can't make up your mind what to do, you've already made up your mind to fail. And he says, don't lean on the consciousness of somebody else. Some people, oh, what should I do? What should I do? Don't ask other people about their consciousness. Take spiritually based action. Some people say, my actions don't matter, I'm just one person. Well, I remember when I was a kid, there was a story. I used to go to the beach in Huntington Beach, and I heard the story of them. And it was a little boy who finds thousands of starfish that have washed ashore. Do you know that story? And he picks up one and he throws it back into the ocean. They've been stranded on some rocks. And a passerby, he says, well, why do you even bother? Your action doesn't make any difference. A lot of these guys are going to die. And the little kid says, well, he says, I saved one of them. All it takes is one. I was looking for some interesting quotes, and I came across one by Amelia Earhart. I've really never quoted her before, but she said, no kind action ever stops with itself. One kind action leads to another. A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. I love that. And I was thinking, I told people here a couple of weeks ago about my going through the Starbucks and somebody paying for my drink before, And I got there at the window and it was paid for. It's like, wow, what a kind act for someone. And I just keep thinking about it and wanting to pay it forward to other people. The pattern of a mighty oak tree is inherent in the acorn, and there's a perfect pattern within each of you. Perfect pattern for being. And when you consciously come into unity with God, that pattern is radiating. So let God be God in you in everything you do. Perfect action is the activity of coming into alignment with original thought, original vibration, original energy. So perfect action is not merely reorganizing our thinking to get things. We're letting God be in us. Now, Ernest Holmes said, as you learn to release your burdens to the right action of God, you will find that everything falls into its proper place. Basically, let go and let God. Turn it over. If something's not working for you, let go. Let God. And some people say, well, why doesn't my prayer work? Well, it's not that God is fickle. It's simply that you or I have not achieved a level of belief. And perhaps we're negating our desire. And what happens is, we pray for prosperity, perfect health. Example, prosperity. We pray for prosperity. God is my source, and it's infinite abundance. But then at the same time, we complain about the cost of living or taxes, and we affirm that the economy is in bad shape, or we're putting out the negative. And it's kind of like, if you argue for your limitations, they are yours. So here's a story about arguing for limitations. It's from John 5, verse 1 through 15, and it's about our master teacher. And it says, it's a parable about a pool at Bethesda in Jerusalem. And it speaks about our call to action. The pool had 5 porches. There were a lot of disabled people there, the blind people, the lame, the paralyzed, and they were waiting for the moving of the water. The belief was that the water, when the water was stirred, it was an angel that had stirred the water, even though they couldn't see it. And so people would run down to be the first person into the water and be healed. That was the belief, and we know our beliefs can heal us. Well, there was a certain man. He had an infirmity, and he had been there for 38 years. So when Jesus saw him lying there, he knew that he had already been in that condition for a long time. He had a consciousness that was stuck. So Jesus said to him, do you want to be made well? Do you want to be healed? Well, he's arguing for his limitations. He says, I have no one to put me into the water. I can't be the first, And also while I'm trying to get there, somebody else jumps in ahead of me, And, Jesus, I can just think what he was probably thinking, for goodness sake. He said, will you be healed? And this guy keeps arguing, no. But he says, rise. And I think he's saying, raise up your consciousness. Take up your bed and walk. Change your consciousness. Change your life. You got to move on. There does come a time for us when we need to get up. We need to rise up, and we need to take action. We move. Don't say I can't. So we learn to take it, to turn it over. The other thing about that parable was, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. You create your life. You are a co-creator. So there's no competition with God. You don't have to be the first one to make it somewhere. there's more than enough. It's God's pleasure to give you the kingdom. So I have another little short story about a journalist in Portland. I used to live in Portland. A lot of people ride bicycles there. Anyway, this is a short story by David Rowe. And he said, how many of you have bikes? He said, I had installed a new part, a front derailleur. I'm not going to explain what the derailleur is on my bike over the weekend, and it wasn't working correctly. I'm trying to become more self-reliant about bike repair and maintenance, so I continued to ride the bike and research the part online, looking for a technical solution to the problem. I knew that I had to go to the local bike shop for help. But like some of us, he was stubborn. He wanted to do it all by himself. You know, one of these people that don't ask for directions. They don't ask anybody in the store for anything. I'll do it myself. Anyway, he decided before it closed at the bike gallery, he would go ahead and try to get over there. But it was already 10 after 5, and he had quite a distance to go. So he raced down the hill on his bike and started into a turn while a couple appeared with a dog. They were directly in front of him with their heads down as they struggled with their dog, who was apparently resisting their attempts at moving toward the side of the path so that he, David, could ride by. So he pulled apart on the brakes, but really couldn't stop the bike in time. And miraculously, he said, as I reached them, they moved out of the way and I sailed onto State Street. I looked at my watch, 5:58. At this point, I said to myself, it's not worth it. I'm trying too hard, and I almost injured somebody in my efforts to accomplish something so trivial. So I just gave it up. I gave it up to God. I released it then and there. It was a few minutes after 6 as I pedaled up to the parking lot at the bike gallery. Wait, I noticed someone was riding into the lot at the same time. He smiled. I noticed that he had on a bike gallery logo on his shirt. Are you a bike mechanic? I said. And he said, yeah. I asked him if he could take a look at the front derailleur and give me some advice on how I could fix it. He came over to my bike, he examined it, he brought a wrench, he made an adjustment or two, and it was done. And I thanked him, and I continued the ride home. But David says, immediately I saw the lesson in this for me. Becoming self-sufficient on my bike, being able to make my own repairs and adjustments to make it all work, is symbolic of the way I have lived out my life story. I would reach out to God for help, but only as a last resort, as a call for help. But in this case, I didn't call for help. I just released the situation to God, and I consciously thought, I'm going to give this up. I feel truly at peace with my decision. So let go, let God. God was acting through the mechanic, riding into the parking lot on a bike at the same time that David did. So little things like this happen all the time, you know. This week, look for God's work in your life. Look for this divine activity going on, action. Look forward to every day in anticipation of what God will do next in your life, in you, as you, and through you. So you're not an observer in this universe. You are a vital participant. God did not make a mistake. Intelligence is created you to live in these times. You were made for this time because you are equipped to meet the challenge of these times. You're the right person in the right place to create a right world. for yourself. So I want to end with a spiritual mind treatment about action. So if you want to just relax, take a deep breath, and if you want, you can close your eyes. So there's only one originating intelligence, one mind, one spirit. And I am its action, its outlet, its process of revealing itself. It knows me as itself. My consciousness is its beloved creation. In me God thinks, in me God feels. I'm never indecisive. I am an open channel for all spiritual ideas. I always have the right idea at the right time. Infinite intelligence in me knows what to do, and this knowledge is mine at every instant. Original thinking pervades my consciousness, and I am decisive in all matters. I know what I need to know at the moment, and I need to know it. God is love in action. God is creativity in action. God is money in action. God is always acting in my life. Original ideas come forward and improve situations in my life. And for this, I am grateful. I give great gratitude. I release my word. I let it go. I know this is so. And together we say, so it is. Thank you.
The sky is the limit to what I can wrote that. Oh, fantastic gospel. And thank you. Give credit where it's due.
Thank you, thank you. Well, this is the time for giving, and I just want to say in advance, thank you. Thank you for all the guests that help us stay in this beautiful facility. And I give gratitude for that in your program. We'll say together, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so. So it is. Thank you. And we'll sing, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. And I'd like, if she would like, you want to come up here? Dr. Maddie?
Yay.
Maddie's going to give us a closing prayer.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And please, just let's continue in the spirit of love, knowing that divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and all that I hope to receive. I am a living emissary of God in action. God is in action in my life, in your life, for God is all there is. And knowing that God is all there is, all that we are and all that we hope to be, let's just go out into this wonderful, unlimited world, knowing that each of us is not only God in action, each of us is unlimited, for we carry with us in each step that unlimited power of an unlimited God who is all good, all knowing, everywhere present, in every breath that we take, every step that we take, and this is simply the truth. Please help me anchor this truth by saying, and so it is, as we give deep thanks.
Thank you. Would you like to stay up here for the final song?
Yes.
Okay, let's all stand. And come up and sign. Just one second, let John come on up.
Yeah.
On the back. Oh, God, it's programmed.
Cool. Open your heart. Let your love over the ocean and across the street. Let it flow like a river.
once you get it started.